Hello, this is QuickSkillz, and today we're looking at the PlayStation category for systems and ROMs included in the 12TB Kinhank Hyperspin Hard Drive purchased on AliExpress. If you are interested in purchasing one of these hard drives for yourself and you want to make sure you get the one shown here in this video, go to the description of this video. I'll post a link that'll take you directly to this exact hard drive found on AliExpress. Also, since we're only focusing on PlayStation today, if you are interested in seeing how this device handles, I have posted a review of two different hard drives on my channel. One that just has the Hyperspin launcher, and the one that you see here has Hyperspin. Also, it has Launchbox, Retrobat, and Playnite as a way to interact with the ROMs included in this device. So let's scroll through the systems that are included here. We have the PlayStation. We have PlayStation 2, Europe and USA. You're going to see minor differences between the two, but there will be a lot of duplicates here. We have PlayStation 3, PSP, and PSP Minis. So let's just scroll through the catalog of games here. Now there is a lot of ROMs included in this device. So PSP Minis, I don't know if anyone's purchasing this for PSP Minis, but you can see here we're kind of scrolling down the list. And I won't have time to play every single game and test that they work, but I have launched a game in every single one of these categories and verified that they do work. One thing I also want to mention is that this is a hard drive that is powered by your computer, so your experience may vary depending on the graphical output of your PC. So I do have a 3080 RTX running this hard drive along with the games that I launch on here, and I haven't had any issues running anything on here. Here we have the PlayStation PSP, so we're going to scroll down that list. Now, as you're going through and deciding whether this product is right for you, if there is a game that you know absolutely that is one of the reasons why you're trying to purchase this 12TB hard drive, leave me a comment. I'll load it up on my computer and see if I have any difficulty loading it up. There are going to be some games that are emulated and they do not work very well. So even if you were to go through your own means to get an emulator and find the ROM to launch it off of, your experience may not be any better than what we have here on this 12TB hard drive. So keep in mind that while a lot of the games here are going to work, there are some that are just emulated very poorly and there is no support for them one way or the other. But for someone that's purchasing this just to own a catalog of PSP ROMs, this is great because a majority of these are going to work. I would have to take a guess about 90% of the ROMs are working, and I know I'm scrolling through this list very fast, but I just want to point out how many PSP ROMs are on here. We're barely in the, looks like the T category. We started in the A's and we're still looping through the PSP, but there are just a ton of games on here. Hopefully you can recognize some of the logos. There are a few duplicates, so it kind of makes it a little easier to see what's coming up and down the list. Here we have PlayStation 3. Ton of PlayStation 3 games. I don't think it's going to be a complete catalog of PlayStation 3 games. However, there are a ton of PlayStation 3 games for you to see here. And we'll actually go ahead and load up a PlayStation 3 game. I'm guessing that many people are purchasing this to play. And we already did a lap here. So we'll load up Soul Calibur because I know that'll load up quickly. Not a huge story. It's going to load up. And I am launching this off of Launchbox. So when you play with this terabyte hard drive at your own home, keep in mind that you'll have multiple ways to launch this from Launchbox, or I don't think Retrobat will have this on there. But when you do launch this ROM, you will be able to play Soul Calibur 4 for the PS3 directly off the hard drive. So here we have, this is Soul Calibur 4 actually, and we're just going to test everything to make sure it's working. So I am going into this game exactly knowing how to play it. There's no button configurations needed. Everything is handling exactly the way I would expect it to. And so we can see that Soul Calibur 4 on the PS3 is working as expected. And I would imagine that all the PS3 games, barring a few, will work perfectly. So let's go ahead and move on to another system. So here we have the Sony PlayStation 2 USA. So we're going to scroll through this list, and there's going to be so we're starting in the T category. There's going to be hundreds of games here for PS2. So let's scroll through and see just how many ROMs are included in the US PS2 category. So right now we're in the C's. And if I see a category I want to load up, we'll give it a go and see that it's working. And I think what I want to try is going to be in the Tony Hawk category. That should be pretty easy to load up with no story needed. So we're going to need to scroll down to the T's. You can see there's a lot of logos you probably recognize. And just want to mention that when you buy this 12 terabyte hard drive, not only are all these PlayStation consoles, there's also Nintendo, Sega, and arcade exclusive games that are going to be all accessible here. I have literally played this almost every night since I've gotten it, and there is not a shortage of things to do on here, barring that your computer can handle the graphics of the games that you're trying to play. So here we go. We have Tony Hawk, load up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Okay, we're loading up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 for the PS2, and let's see if it handles the way we think it will. So we have kickflip, we have grabs, and then triangle for grinds. Yeah, everything is configured exactly the way I would expect it to be. Graphics look really good. They are PS2 graphics, but my computer is handling them just fine. I am using the analog stick on my controller, but I can also switch over to the D-pad just as if I had a PS2. That is something that you can do. So we can see here that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is working for this category, PS2. And again, there are hundreds upon hundreds of ROMs accessible to you. We're going to scroll through the PS2 Europe category, but I'm gonna imagine that there are a ton of duplicates in there as well. So here is the Sony PlayStation 2 for the European release, and actually there's not a lot of games in here. It just has the 7 Sins and 7 Blades shown here. So that's all that's there in the PlayStation 2. And then here we have the PlayStation category, and I have no doubt that we're going to be able to run a PlayStation game, but I do want to show you this collection of games that's in here. And again, I know I'm moving through here very quickly. If there is a particular game that you are buying this hard drive for, be sure to leave me a comment, because I will be able to check to make sure that it is working. And if it is working, I'll let you know either via video or comment on my channel. So be sure to leave, and let's try this out. I always like the Dance Dance Revolution games. Let's see, so we got 3 of the Konami mix. Let's see if this loads up. And I have the sound muted, but if you were playing at home, the sound comes in perfectly. Since we are playing on the PlayStation, I have no doubt that this is going to work. But let's just give it a go and see if there's any latency. Sometimes with these games, like, the timing really matters, and it might affect the performance of the game. So here we have game mode. We're going to jump in and see if a PlayStation game works on here. So this is Dance Dance Revolution for the PlayStation 1, and let's see if it works. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good with no latency whatsoever. And, you know, if you see the misses or the greats, that's just because I'm bad. And I don't have the music on. I have my sound muted, but I'm sure if I had music playing, it would be a lot better of an experience for me. But this seems to be working quite fine with no sound. Well, that is going to conclude our review of the PlayStation systems and ROMs for the Kinhank 12 terabyte hard drive found on AliExpress. Again, if you're thinking about purchasing this out for yourself, just remember that this is going to plug directly into your computer, and your performance will vary depending on the graphical capabilities of your own computer at home. However, if you are looking to get something that's more on its own and just plugs right into the TV without the need of a computer, check out my channel. I've reviewed a few retro consoles that do not require a computer but actually use a computer that's built in to the device. It includes a micro SD card, and it has these games like the PlayStation and the PlayStation. Well, PlayStation 2 is not going to be on there, but it's going to be mainly PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and older than that you'll have on these portable computers for about $50 to $60. This one's going to set you back about $200 with taxes and fees, so keep that in mind. But I do think that for $200 you're getting an amazing buy, because there are thousands upon thousands of ROMs that you'll be able to spend hours playing, and I would estimate that if you purchase this, you would not run out of things to do on there. Well, this is QuickSkillz. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.